This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we're going to look at the new Lopmon package from the EX2 meta, and more specifically, its inclusion in Yellow Hybrid list. I've been seeing a lot of people just kind of put it in there and say it's fantastic, and then a lot of people saying, is it actually good, or what's the actual kind of play for this? So we're going to go over the cards in general, my opinions on the idea of putting them in Yellow Hybrid, why you would want to do that, and the advantages for it, as well as an example deck list at the end. There's a lot more ways to build this deck too, so don't think that my build is the build to go to, but just an example for an inclusion into kind of a Yellow Hybrid package going forward. So starting off, we do have the new Yellow Tamer, and that's kind of, I think, the first reason why people are considering using this is just because it has a Tamer and it's yellow, so why would you not want to put it in there? And so on play, look at the, you may play one Lopmon from your hand without paying its memory cost, and then start a turn. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, you get to draw 1. So cycle is good, and also being able to play a Lopmon for free can be kind of good too. So that's the idea. I would say that Susie is a little bit expensive too, and so 3 is a little expensive, and obviously if you have 3 or fewer security cards, drawing 1 is nice. I think memory might be a little bit better, but drawing is fine. And obviously we already have like the Kari Tamer that does the same thing without playing the Lopmon, so you can't just like power creep it that much too. So I think it's fine for what it is. The only other thing is that if you're playing like a Yellow Hybrid list, you're not really wanting to play a lot of rookies or you know, Lopmons in general. So that's something that's also kind of a little bit of reverse synergy, but I think it's good. I like the Tamer's fine for what it is. And so going over to the new Lopmon that we got, it's on play. If you have 3 or fewer security cards and a Susie in play, you get to recovery +1, which is kind of nice, though it is. I wonder if, I don't know, I think Susie could have been like something like if you have 3 or fewer security cards or a Lopmon in play, you get to draw a card. I think that would have been a little bit better, because like, yeah, this, like if you have 3 security cards and then you play Susie and then you heal with Lopmon, then you don't get the draw anymore. So I feel like that kind of works against it sometimes, but getting to play a rookie for free is still good. We see people playing Nokia still, but that does have the memory gains. I don't know. So this is fine. I think this, the fact that this can help you recover, I think is good enough for what it is. And, you know, not that Yellow doesn't have enough recovery mechanics, but just the fact that, you know, if you want to play a version of the list where you're very aggressive at taking your own security to do your effects, and you can heal up again afterwards, I think this Lopmon's kind of good for that. And then we also have this Antilomon. If you have a Susie in play, your Lopmon can digivolve into this card with the devolution cost of 3 with you know, ignoring its devolution requirements. So that's kind of nice. And then when attacking, once return, you may trash top card of your security stack to unsuspend this Digimon. So this potentially swinging twice is good too. As is when attacking, which is a little bit unfortunate because you could swing in and then take the security and then you die. So that kind of stinks. But it's a 7K is honestly pretty healthy for what it is. I think 6K is the generic kind of baseline for cards in security right now. So 7K hits over that. There's obviously a lot of things you can hit, but still a lot of people are playing Tamers and everything else. And so I think 7 is fine. It will probably survive over half the time, which is good enough. And there we go. So I think the biggest thing about this is that being able to take your own security is still fantastically good, even in Yellow Hybrid, if you build it to kind of that way. So going over the list here. So this is my example list. So the other Lopmon we chose is the one from BT3. So on play, look at the top card of your security stack. You may add that card to your hand. If you do, you get to draw 1. So this lets you like draw 2 cards, which is really good. Especially like turn 1, being able to just do Susie into Lopmon means that you get to draw 2 cards, and then you are at 4 security compared to your opponent's 5. So if you have like a TK Kari out later, that's really good. But obviously, you know, you have to do, or it just like makes it so your opponent doesn't really want to swing into you, because then they put you to 3 and then you can start drawing. So it's kind of like defensive that way, which is interesting. And then you get your rookie out as well. And then we're just running 3 of this one as well. We don't want to run a lot of rookies in this list, so I think 7 is good enough. It's also kind of weird too, where you know, we're not going to have, if we're wanting to kind of use Susie to hard cast them, we don't have rookies that we also want to digivolve on top of our eggs, because if we want to get the on play effects. So I don't know, like a lot of this, if you haven't already told, you know, can't already tell, is a lot of like kind of clunky where instead of like full synergy, it's kind of like, oh, you gotta choose one path to the other. Or it's like it's close to having synergy, like in a deck like this, yeah, you have these Lopmons, you can play them for free, but you don't have a lot of rookies in general, and so like in yellow hybrid you don't do that because your tamers essentially count as rookies too, so you don't have a lot of space to put these Lopmons in because you don't want to do that. And the Lopmons you do have, half the time you want to just digivolve them on top of your your egg to have that guaranteed swing and the extra cycle there. So that's kind of one of the unfortunate things there. But going from that, we have kind of like the almost full hybrid package. We're only running 3 Kaustinen because we don't have room for the rest. We're also playing 3 Rapidmon. I feel like you would kind of need to run this card no matter what. The other unfortunate thing though is that since we're not using Patamon or Terriermon, this will cost 4, so unless we have some way to gain memory, you can't keep it your turn and have it swing over something. But that's not too terribly difficult, but that's just something you have to consider as well. And then we're running 3 of the Entlemon as well, and these can digivolve on top of the Zephyrmon and Kaustinen. And I think there is like the idea that, oh, if there's a deck where you can just kind of skip over your level 4s very easily, which Tamers kind of do, and just do some cheap devolutions, you can go into your high end kind of quickly, which is nice. Though I don't think there's anything super duper good for that. I think Ophanimon is good for that kind of spot there, but it's not. It's just fine. It's just a fine spot for where it's at. I don't think this is like amazing if you ramp into it, especially if we don't have any purple sources. But it is pretty good, like just 12k that sits there. And if they try to get rid of it, you get another level 4 back from your trash. So it's fine for what it is, but nothing like game changing if you ramp up to it very quickly. 2 Susanemons because we play a lot of the tamers and stuff, so this is a big bad boy to go into later into the game. Ian's Javelin, we're running 2 of a reinforcing memory boost and 2 yellow memory boost. We kind of need this memory, and a lot of this is trading kind of some memory stuff for the card draw aspect for it, especially with Susie getting that card draw. You want to go 3 or less life, and I think like one of the big things too, and I could add more TK Karis, and I only run 2 only because I felt like I needed to run the Codys as well. So this could be something where you're like, what, TK Karis are good enough, I want to run all of them, but it's sometimes hard for you to be less security than your opponent, and so having a TK Kari out, and then you like playing a Lopmon, and then you immediately get the value from this, that can be really good for where you're at. So I think this could be this could help you have more of these TK Kari effects going on, and like Upamon is going to be easier to get to, especially like if you have Entlemon out, you can swing, unstand it, or restand it, take the security, go down to 3, and then you can draw from Upamon too. So in general, like this helps you just draw a lot more cards. Lopmon lets you draw an extra 1 when on hard cast. Entlemon, this goes to it goes to your trash. Yes, that's too bad. I don't think adding to hand would have been broken, but that's fine. But yeah, just a lot more cycles, so you can be a little bit greedier with your choices and stuff. I do like Cody though. Cody's great. It just gets an almost extra memory every turn, especially if you have like Rapidmon out, and then you can swing and get something minus 2k, or Ophanimon as well can do the same thing. We're only running 3 Suzy because I think 4 is too clunky. You really only need like 1 out, and it's more just like a way to play a Lopmon for cheaper, which is nice. Or not for cheaper, but for kind of like free to get your resources there. 3 Zoe because we want to run our hybrid stuff too, and I think that is kind of, and Holy Flame. Holy Flame is such a good card, and it's really one of the biggest defense options if it's in security against something like Reaper or against any of these like red OTK lists. So you kind of want to keep that in security at all times if you can. So if you see this off the Lopmon, you kind of have to be like, well, I kind of got to keep it in there. So, but that's just kind of the idea. In general, I don't know if this is it just could just be my build's not good or isn't what needs to happen for it, but I do think that it is a little bit inconsistent for what you're doing. There's just too many things that kind of clash against each other, but I see why it's tempting. I see why it's tempting to do this, and where you want to just play Susie because it's a tamer, and then you have synergy for having tamers, but then that's kind of like where the synergy kind of stops, right? Like Lopmon is fine as a rookie, and being able to go into this big boy is fine, but also where it stops, right? Like, you can go to Entlemon for 3, so you can go into Ophanimon for 4, nice. Or if you just had a tamer out, you can go Zephyrmon, Jet Sophie for 3, also gain the memory, and then go into Ophanimon. So I don't know. I think there are better builds for a yellow hybrid right now. I have seen some builds though where it's like a red base, and then you just like run the Lopmons to just hard cast anyways, and that could be kind of good. That's kind of interesting. Though that's not the build that we're playing today. So I don't know. I think there's some exploration to do, but I can see why it can be kind of clunky a lot. And that's kind of, I don't know. I just say clunky a lot, but that's just my experience with the deck. And I think there's just, I don't know. That's kind of the end of the video. I don't really have an ending for it. This is my build. I hope you guys test it out. Let me know what you guys think about having it in the build, and if it's doing wonders. If there's something I've missed or just I don't get it about it either, let me know about that too. And let me know your builds, and I'd be interested to see what you guys have. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.